All right.
This is the golden rule. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it. Your Bluetooth, the new tennis shoe, we finding new balance. Faith, family, and talents. How we find God around it. East y'all got the ox now. This your favorite channel. What we on Faith Talk? This a good space to talk. We gon' cross every road if we got a jaywalk. What we on sports now? No, this ain't Sports Center, but ever since Acock, the boy had the sport in him. Man of the house now. What we talking family ties? My dogs won't talk to me. Surely I'm a family guy. You can bring the conversation to me, get it analyzed. Men lie, women lie, the truth should be baptized. Whatever you put into this world is what you getting back. So while you listen in your car, try and sit with that. While you listen in the gym, try and lift the mat. This is Podcast and Cool. Welcome to the Golden Rule. It's golden, baby.
Man, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's your boy E. Shaw, and today I got a very special one for y'all, man. This right here, of course, you know this is a show where like-minded people discuss like-minded things. The Golden Rule Podcast. Y'all been with me this ride, and we got one more coming for you. All right. Now I got a special guest today, and look, we're gonna get right into it. This special guest, man, she holds many hats, huh? Many hats. So I'm gonna get right to it and discuss them. She currently has a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance. She also holds a master's in psychology with a concentration in ABA. Okay. Now, she is obtaining her second master's degree in social work, which she will have finished up this year in November. So I'm proud of her for that. And she's also going for her DSW, and I'll let her explain to you guys what that means. Okay. She's also an advocate and has a passion for supporting individuals on the autism spectrum. And we're going to discuss that in brief detail. That's exactly what this discussion is today. So I got something special for y'all today. And she's currently serving as a social worker, supporting individuals with their mental and behavioral health issues. Y'all, it is a pleasure for me to introduce this young lady, my special guest, my little sister, Verkisie Shaw, or as I call it, Verkisie Shaw-Braxton. But of course, everybody knows her as Put. What's happening, man?
What's happening?
It's a long time coming, sis. How you doing?
I'm blessed, and highly favored.
Come on now, talk the talk. You did, man. We got something that this was last minute, so I do appreciate you for joining. But we got something that a lot of people ain't gonna be expecting from us because of our dynamic. But I felt like it's time to have this type of conversation, man. So we're gonna get right into this discussion. But before we do, go on and kind of add to that introduction. Let everybody know what's going on with you. Where you at? Where you from? Where you at?
Yeah, well, y'all know I'm from the north side of the borough, Greensboro to be exact.
Okay.
Have been living in Atlanta for over 19 years now. So I am a Georgia peach.
Come on now.
But as he did mention earlier, yes, I hold a bachelor's degree in accounting with a minor in finance. I hold a master's degree in psychology with a concentration in applied behavior analysis, which is ABA. Mm-hmm. And currently I am getting my second master's in social work, which I'll be done in November. And then after that, I have to have 2 years of post work, which I am currently working part-time at a psychiatric hospital. I will pursue my doctor's of social work so I can be able to diagnose mental health and behavioral issues.
Yeah. And that's what DSW is. The acronym DSW is for doctors in social work, correct?
Doctoral social work, correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got you. All right, sis. That is a long ways away from what you started your schooling in. Yeah. But like I say, this conversation that we're gonna have is gonna get right into that. So let's jump right into it, sis. I wanna start off with let's start with when you first, when we first found out that Messiah. If everybody don't know Messiah, Put son. He is not. He's 9.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to be 10 in January 25th to be exact, and he is on the autism spectrum. For those who don't know, um, she has a son who is autistic. He's on the spectrum, right? Um, that turn. Let's go back. I want to go back to when you found out that he was on the autistic spectrum. We're going to talk about what autism is, but I want to lead into that. So let's talk about when you first found out um, that he had autism. Let's talk about that, because I remember when that happened, when you had that conversation that night. Let's tell the people about that conversation.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that my first passion was special education. So at Page High School, Pirate Pride, I used to go behind those red doors. I remember red doors, and they were kids with autism. So I always had a passion for special education. When I first went to college, Shaw University, that's what I majored in, special education. So going to when Messiah was diagnosed, first of all, he was hitting all milestones. I didn't see any signs from day one since he was born. It wasn't until I put him in daycare. He was 1.5 years old, and his teacher one day, she said it out loud, but I was thinking, but she was like, Messiah doesn't talk. Can he hear? And a lot of kids, they have selective hearing. They hear what they want to hear.
Right.
Messiah can be standing in front of me and I'm yelling at him and he doesn't hear me. So kind of find out he kept getting ear infections.
Right.
He had 3 ear infections, and we finally took him to the ENT. He got the tubes in his ear. And what was causing the ear infections is, when they give the kids the medicine to cure the ear infection, amoxicillin, it's supposed to drain out the ear. But what was happening with Messiah, it was sitting on the back of his ear, causing him not to hear. So when we would talk to him, it was muffled. It sounded like he was underwater. So fast forward, took him to get the tubes put in his ear. He went into surgery. Maybe a week later, you can tell that, okay, this is progressing. He can hear. But as a mother and having my motherly instincts, I kept saying, something's still not right. Like at this time, he's maybe 2, and he's not doing the things that a 2-year-old should be doing, as far as speaking, saying mommy, daddy, asking for juice. He was just pointing, right? So we had issues with one of the tubes, so they had to put him back through surgery again to fix it.
I remember that.
It was in that moment when I was talking to the ENT, they was like, well, I was just telling him, some other things that I saw. And he then said, well, he may be autistic, but that's not my realm. I'm an ENT. So what you need to do for the next steps is go ahead and get him scheduled in and see a psychologist.
Right.
So, me and his dad was married at the time, and dad was very like in denial, which a lot of us African Americans, we are in denial. We just think it's nothing wrong with the children. They need a whooping. No, as a person who actually worked in special education, I knew the signs, so I wasn't in denial. So I went ahead and got him in to see a psychologist. So there was a 2-part testing. The first psychologist, she wanted to see how he did like with imaginary play. And of course he couldn't. But some of this, just going back to some of his signs, isolation, eye contact, but at the same time, you got to understand his ear journey. Then too, Messiah is the only child. Right. So of course he's going to isolate. He don't have no friends to play with, but it was still things there. So went to the first part of the psychologist, and she did her thing. And then there was a 2-part. We went to her counterpart. We went to another psychiatrist so she can do her part. And in that session, she told me, she was like, I'm not for certain if I can diagnose him. And mind you, Messiah was 1.5. And mind you, I'm not understanding everything that they're telling me because
At that time, yeah.
at that time, because I just know the signs.
Right.
But she was just telling me because of Messiah ear journey, I'm not for certain if he, is, but it take about 8 to 10 weeks for them to get the diagnosis back, for them to do the different type of assessments that they ran on him.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, we got the diagnosis of autism. And from there, I was getting ready to enter into my master's. I wanted to become a CPA. I wanted to work for one of the big four companies. I wanted to work for Ernst & Young, but driving down the highway one day, and I said, get your master's in ABA. I'm like, God, you trying to tell me a sign. But
now,
go ahead.
Now, hold on. Before you move forward, because this is very important. Let's go back to when you got the diagnostic that he has autism.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to that night, because we had a conversation. I think this is critical. This is very key. At least for me, it is, because we had a conversation that night leading to the testing for because we had to go over the cost. You went over the cost and everything, and that people don't know that test is not cheap.
Yes, the test, especially like I can't get Social Security, I can't get Medicaid for my child because they say I make too much, so I had to come and pay out the pockets. I think like $1,200 for the test.
Yeah, and it was a. I mean, we cried, but in typical Shaw fashion, was like, well, shoot, man, we got to attack this thing. We got to do it. I don't care what it costs. Yeah. Like, you was like, you don't care what it costs. We gonna try to be as proactive as we can, because now the signs are there. We have to get this thing diagnosed so that we can get him the proper help. And I remember you know what I'm saying? I know you remember this as well, but I was like, man, dang, I just kept saying, like, once we did get the testing done, and it was verified that he was on the spectrum. I just remember thinking, man, this kid is not going to get a fair shake at life. And I think you thought that too. And I believe, you correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why you said you had this intuition to get your further education in ABA. And I believe that's why, because, man, we don't know too many people with autism, but the people that I do know, life ain't fair for them, man.
It's not. Well, here's the thing too. Like, I wasn't, of course, like, any person that get the diagnosis of anything, you be kind of sad, but just me knowing the background and working with children and adults in my prior years with that's on the spectrum, I wasn't too worried. Because for the simple fact, I know about early intervention, which that's something we'll talk about too. Detecting the signs early, so therefore I can help him through this journey and strive to be, I hate using the word normal, but because the kids on the spectrum or individuals, it's like atypical, but for him to be able to have a normal life just like everyone else, if he wants to go to school and have children, early intervention is the key.
Right. And I definitely applaud you for that, man, because we've seen some people not, not detected early enough, or they in denial, like you said. Like, I believe most people in our community are not necessarily in denial, but they don't know how to get proper testing.
Right.
Or it costs too much to get proper testing.
It costs, and also too, and we'll get into this too, but I just it's different levels to autism. That's why it's called a spectrum. So you have your level 1, level 2, and level 3. So everybody that's autistic, they're different. They're not all the same, but there is levels.
Okay. Let's talk. All right, let's jump into it. What is autism? Let's start there. What is autism? Because a lot of people are not up on what it is.
So autism is also actually called, some people say ASD or autism spectrum disorder. But I'm gonna give you, I always got a cite. That's that master's ink.
You got to cite your source. You understand me?
This DSM-5 is a diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders, right? So This book is our Bible, all diagnosis. But according to the DSM-5, ASD is a complex neurological development, right, of your brain,
Right.
involving persistent challenges with social communication, restricted interests, and repetitive behaviors. So to break that down in layman terms, it's just ASD affects individuals on how they interact with each others, how they communicate, how they learn, and how they behave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And like you say, there are different levels of autism.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of break down the levels, and if you want, kind of explain what level. After you break them down, explaining what level Sasa is on, Messiah is on.
Yep. So we call him Messiah or Side
Right.
Boogie. But yeah.
Yeah.
So there are 3 levels based on the severity of social communication
Mm-hmm.
and interaction challenges. So level 1, which is kind of like your mild, aka high functioning,
Okay.
is where individuals at this level may find it hard to start social interactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they may usually respond to social cues and take part in conversation. They might have trouble understanding social rules or nonverbal communication, but can typically recognize basic social cues, and they can often function independently with some support.
Okay.
And when I say terms like verbal in autism is spoken language, like using their words, phrases. They may repeat phrases. And nonverbal is used to describe individuals who have limited or nonverbal communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2 is like your moderate. So it's like requiring substantial support. So
Right.
individuals at this level have significant challenges in like social communication, both verbal and nonverbal.
Right.
And they may struggle to understand social cues, and their responses are limited or unusual. They often feel stressed when routines are changed,
Mm-hmm.
or when they're faced with unexpected situations. And then the last level 3, I say severe, um, requiring very substantial support. So individuals at this level have very limited communication and social interaction skills, often showing little response to others. They struggle with verbal and nonverbal communication and have a difficult of understanding social cues. They typically need significant support for
Mm-hmm.
daily living, including personal care and feeding. So going back to Messiah, when Messiah was first diagnosed, he was diagnosed at the age of 1.5.
That's right.
Nowadays, I ask my psychologist all the time. I was like, how old can you diagnose? Which you can diagnose up to 18 months, but some psychologists now are waiting until they at least turn like 2.5, 3, because you got to understand a child is still developing, right?
Right.
And I can get to my mind like, well, my son, he's 18 months. Like, how are y'all doing it? So when he was diagnosed, Messiah was definitely like moderate to severe, because he's 18 months. He, was not talking, babbling.
Right.
He
Right.
needed that significant support. But now, over the years and with all the services that I have gotten him, including today, we're still in services. And the older the older he gets, he's definitely understanding. But now I would say, Saab, I'm actually in the process of trying to, you're supposed to get them retested. I
Mm-hmm.
think every 8 years. So right now there is a wait. So many kids
Mm-hmm.
are being diagnosed. To even get the
Yeah.
diagnosis, it's like a year wait. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get him retested, since he's now about to be 10, to see now where he's at, which I know for Messiah, he's probably going to be at a level in between a level 1 and a level 2. So definitely that progress over the years.
Right. And so he's in between level 1 and level 2, right?
Yeah.
I think and I reached out to I only know a few people with children with autism, but I think their main concern is the world not understanding, right? Not understand. I know me and you have had several discussions over the years about that.
Yeah.
Um look, the bottom line is that we'd have been through family not fully understanding,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they act or treat Sasa a different way, or differently than we would like them to. I noticed that years ago, honestly, with their family members, and I cried honestly when I seen it.
What were
Um,
you talking about?
huh? It
No.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It really wasn't blatant and direct
Right, right. Oh, yeah,
mistreatment, which is not. It
yeah,
wasn't blatant or direct mistreatment, but it was just like, huh, like
yeah. Nah, I
like
get you.
you
Yeah,
think you see what I'm saying, and
but
it just
I nipped that in the bud because for one, a lot of people they have to be educated. A lot of people are ignorant to disabilities. So
mhm,
it's like you really have to educate because especially like for instance with daddy and with grandma, right? They're
mhm,
older. So they don't they they didn't use the term because back then they probably didn't know that their people had it. But
right,
now like you have to educate, like I had to educate daddy, like,
mhm,
this is what you got to do. You can't be
right.
trying to whoop my child, like no, it's a certain way you got to do things in decency and order, because I hate to
Talk.
have to put pause on, but
Come
about my
on now.
child.
I
But
was just about to say, talk about like how do you develop the patience for that? And I know it takes ultra patience.
well, yeah, because I was the one who didn't have patience. But the thing with I'm just talk about my son in general, and even when I talk, even when I was teaching or working with other kids with autism, it's
Mm-hmm.
easier working with other people kids than your own kid, right? Because your kid came from you, so it's
Right.
just like you let them kind of run over you, which now I'm trying to reel that in, right? Because the older
I,
Messiah gets, he definitely understands.
I
But
understand where you're coming from.
you just have to take out. It's a lot of self care, and even though I call y'all and talk about Daddy all the time, but he is one of the biggest supporters because he's here with me. So he
Right.
allows me, I can leave and go do what I can do to just do that self care for myself and just woosah. Because
Right.
especially when Messiah was younger and he cannot verbalize how he's feeling, whether he's sick, I don't know, if he like if he's hurting, he can't tell me these things, right?
Right.
So as a mom, it can be overwhelming. And I'm the strong, well, we all strong, but I'm always that strong one. Like, I'm not gonna cry in front of y'all, but best
Right.
believe I've had moments where I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it does get easier as he gets older.
right.
Especially behaviors. Like when Messiah was 2 and 3, breaking cell phones, throwing stuff. Um, I wanted to choke, like, but
Yeah.
also too, with him having ABA, and that showed me too, like I would sit in on sessions and just getting that parenting 101 too, because this
Mm-hmm.
is new. You didn't know that your child was gonna have autism. It don't come with it don't come with a rule book.
Right. Structure
every
for sure.
every day in your house, it's every day in my house, it was a different day.
Mhm.
We might have meltdowns one day, we may have a good day. On Saturdays, I just be like, Messiah, do what you want to do.
Right.
Tear
Right.
up, writing on the walls. I got ABCs going up my steps right now from when he was younger. But you just gotta definitely have patience with them, because in the beginning they really don't know what because they in their own world. So they really
Right.
don't understand what they're doing is not what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So yeah.
Talk about, and I got talk about some of the psychological things, the effects that it had on you, and how you dealt with it, as far as like different vices that you go out and have a drink with the ladies? Did you prayer? Did your prayer life increase? And these are some of the things that people were asking me to ask you,
Yeah.
um, about that. So talk a little bit about that, because that's one thing I admire about you, is that you never complain, maybe internally, right? But you've
Yeah.
always had some type of way of dealing with it or having answers with it. So elaborate on that real quick. How you dealt with these things psychologically, mentally, and emotionally.
So at one point, I was paying for respite care. So respite is like a person who comes in and they may have him for like 3-4 hours, like take him to aquarium while I can sleep, I can go grocery shopping, I can do whatever I want to do. But it became expensive. I mean, it was so expensive. I was like, I'm gonna have to go to Magic City and slide down somebody's pole.
Come on, man.
Not
tooting it. Come on, man. Not turking it, man. You gotta get that fast money.
Hey, don't judge me. But no, and then too, having Daddy and Eric when Eric was alive, they were very helpful with Messiah. Pop, they was very helpful, and having that male figure around, and also too, his, at the time his dad would come get him too, so he would get him sometimes on the weekend. So I kind of always had like an outlet, but for me, being that he was nonverbal, it was hard for me to let go because most individuals that have a disability or nonverbal, they are abused, which going into the situation, a lot of people don't know, but Messiah was abused in school 2 years ago by a teacher. So
can you talk about, well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm cool. Yeah.
You can talk about that?
Yeah, I can talk about it. I talk about it now. Of course, immediate family, but that is my worry because he couldn't talk, and when they called me, they just said, "Hey, Miss Braxton, I need for you to come see me, or we need to have a conference the next day because of something that happened between Messiah and the teacher." Well, the thing is, you can't call me and say you got to wait till tomorrow. Like, ma'am, like, why not today?
What we talking about? What we talking about?
I'm asking Messiah, hey, what happened? I'm checking his skin, clothes.
Right.
Of course, he don't know what's going on. So, fast forward, I went to school. The teacher, the principal never not once told me that there was a video. She just said that there were people who witnessed it, but it wasn't until, so CPS gets involved. CPS is there. They didn't let the lady go who did it. So CPS, me and the CPS worker, we're talking, and he was like, "Well, did you see the video?" I was like, "What video?" She never not once mentioned, a video, and she also downplayed what happened in the video. So we asked to see the video. So when I'm looking at the video, of course, like they had to shorten it so it couldn't show other kids, but it showed that teacher hitting my child in his chest 3 times and jacking him up. So I had to ask him to rewind it again because sometimes you miss something the first time. So she rewinded it again, and I'm just looking, and I'm just seeing another teacher walk by, and you don't see this lady. It's like you turning a blind eye to it. So of course, I go in protective mode. Like, where's she at? I'm ready to.
I already know
About my child, but at the end of the day, that's where that social worker had come on, right? You gotta know, like, I had to, if I go to jail, who gonna take care of my child?
Right.
Nobody gonna take care of your child like you take care of them, right?
Right. Of course.
So I had to think about those things that was running through my mind. Like, if I go to jail for what I wanted to do, I probably would have been doing life. So y'all would have been putting money on my books. But long story short, we went to court and they locked her up. She's out though. She can no longer work with kids or children. And this wasn't her first time doing it. They had witnesses who actually said they saw her hitting another autistic kid. And also, I started doing my research and saw that this wasn't the first time it happened at that school. So I am a huge advocate of children with autism because I do not want my child to go through that again.
Yeah, for sure. It's I remember when that happened, and it's scary that stuff like that
It's
has
happening
happened,
today.
and it will continue. Yeah. So I know that's a big reason why you got into your field as well, man. So again,
Yeah.
I applaud you for that, man. And I've stressed to you several times, man. I applaud you, man, because put like early 20s, yeah, you probably would have emotionally thought, boy, and would have went crazy on them people. I know you would.
Y'all know my mouth.
I already know. So like, it's that's huge, man. That is huge. But I appreciate you for discussing that because a lot, like I said, it happens a lot. Um, so I definitely appreciate you for sharing that. Um, what I want to jump into next, because we talked about the different levels of autism. We talked about let's talk about this in-home therapy program that you started. Uh, based on what your experience with Sasa and other kids. You want to
Yeah,
let's
I
get to
let
talk
well.
about that.
So what I advocate hugely is that once you see the signs, don't be in denial. Get that baby tested because the earlier that you get them tested,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start like early intervention programs. Hence, ABA therapy, right? So ABA stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis, right? So in this setting, it teaches skills and reduces challenges and focuses on like positive reinforcement within a natural environment. So a lot of people now do it in home where you can be in the home while they're doing it, or you can go inside the office.
Right.
But I prefer in home because I want to be there and see what's going on. And that too is what intrigued me when I first set in on like the sessions. I'm like, wow, like this is how you do that. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, Messiah was nonverbal, and when I got my degree in psychology and ABA, like I understood how ABA is supposed to look. So we went through 3 therapists to get the right one because some people they just about money,
Mm-hmm.
and they do pay these therapists well. So but me as that parent and me having the knowledge of how it's supposed to look, baby,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't coming in here taking my child to no park. We're not doing
Right.
that to you.
Right.
You need to be working on his cognitive skills, motor skills, all of the above. Okay, because I'm paying you out of pocket. This
Right.
service is like $4,000,
Facts.
a month.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he's on my insurance, so but I'm still paying towards it. But I'm paying you to do a job, and you're gonna do it right, messing with me, baby.
Right. Right on.
Um, and then you have like speech therapy, um, which focuses on developing verbal and nonverbal communication skills, including like understanding social cues. So,
Mm-hmm.
like with Messiah, like this year, my focus with him was definitely on speech because now that he's older, like he's verbal now, but he's,
Right.
we're working on putting those full sentences together. He can tell me like what he want to eat,
Mm-hmm.
fully potty trained. Um, Messiah, he do what he do, you
Oh, for
know.
sure he do. Yeah. For sure.
It's definitely speech because I want him to be able to pick up a cell phone and call me and say, "Hey, ma, you doing all right?" Or, "Hey, ma, somebody messing with me,"
Right.
And
Right.
that's what me and his dad was talking about. So he gets speech therapy twice a week here at home, and when he goes to his dad's house for the summer, we're gonna continue that via virtual because I want him to be able to verbalize and tell me how he's feeling, whether he just picking up the phone and say, "Hey, bye,"
For sure. For sure.
and then
And
also go ahead.
and this is something just so everybody could know for people who are just now joining. This is something you've been doing since he was what speech
Two.
therapy since he was 2. Okay, so this is going
Mhm.
on 7 years, pretty
Yeah.
much. Wow.
So here's another thing too. So in order to do these services like ABA especially, the kid has to have the diagnosis. Like there's no way around it. You
Right.
you have to get a referral from your pediatrician to do the testing. But some kids they can't start ABA until they like 3. But you have to have the diagnosis. Some people think, oh, they can just put them in ABA. No, you have to have the diagnosis of autism.
Right.
But most people, what I did before Messiah got into ABA, we did do speech therapy when he was like 2, maybe 3, but we had stopped because because his behavior started getting out of control. So I needed that ABA. But in school too, they do offer what they don't offer. They supposed to do speech therapy and occupational therapy. But the reason why I got it outside of home, because in school they only do a 30-minute session as a group. So he's not getting what he needs in the 30-minute session. So I have my personal therapist come and do it within the home for an hour 2 times a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's big. That's big right
Also
there.
too, occupational therapy, that's OT. Some people might say OT. It helps improve sensory processing, fine motor skills, daily living tasks, in addition to strategies to manage transitions or overwhelming situations. So like in that sense, it teaches them like how to dress themselves, how to brush your teeth, how to use a pencil, how to hold it, how to write. So those are some things that you can be doing in lieu of you waiting to get on that ABA, because right now in Georgia, it's a wait for ABA and speech and occupational. It's crazy. So that's why a lot of them do offer in home, but if you want to go in the clinic, it's like a wait. So I rather for somebody coming to my home and do what she do. And shout out to Messiah speech therapist. She is amazing. Like, we've been working with her for the past 2 months. And when I say Sabug, I'm gonna give him to next year. I think he definitely gonna be fully talking to the point. I'm like, Messiah, go to sleep.
That's dope, man. Like, all right. So far as the financial part of it, it can be very expensive, especially you know, if you don't have proper insurance. So what avenues or what sources can people go to as far as like the financial side of it? What can you help them out with that?
So it just depends on your financial situation. Just speaking for me, I got like 3 jobs. So I'm in a different little tax bracket. But even as a single parent, like, it's hard getting services. Like, you gotta barely make nothing or be damn near not having no income to even get like Medicaid. Medicaid can provide a lot of these ABA therapists do take Medicaid, so you probably won't have to come out of pocket. It's also in Georgia. I don't know about any other states, but it's called Katie Beckett. Now that is for people who, like for me, like it don't go based off your income, but the only reason why I haven't did it because the packet is so big and it's just too time consuming. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to figure it out one day, but not today. But yeah, if you can get Medicaid, also if you can get you can get SSI, but again, you have to have that disability. He or she has to be diagnosed to get these types of services. SSI, I know a lot of people who get SSI for their children that, you know, depending upon, again, your financial status. I can't get it. I've been denied. So it just depends on your financial status. And I think it's a shame because, and that's another thing about being an advocate too, trying to get in and change these laws. That's why we have to vote too, not in just our presidential election, but also in our state and local.
Yeah, state and local, absolutely.
Because, for instance, it's like, I don't think that my child should be punished for not getting Medicaid because of my income. I think it should be based upon his diagnosis, right? So I think that's definitely unfair. So yeah, it can be costly. Like, I'm paying right now out of pocket for psych therapist $100 per session, and mind you, it's twice a week. Right. So y'all do the math on that. But Dad does help me though. We definitely do go half in on that. But even with ABA, like that's costly. Right now, he hasn't been in ABA because I'm not focusing on his behavior right now. I'm focusing more on that speech. What do you want to say?
Hey, shout out what's up, Si?
Come on, say hey to the people.
What up, Si? What
Say
up?
hi. All right.
What's up,
Say hi.
man?
Say hi. Hi.
Hey, look
Okay,
at
bye.
hey, look at twin. Hey, look at twin, man.
You
Hey,
don't know.
shout out to OG Eddie Shaw Senior too, man. Pops, man. Shout out to Pops for the financial support for the for the
What?
money on
For who?
OG Eddie Shaw for the little assistance, man, for the help.
Now he just babysit. He don't do financial.
Oh, what? Oh, my bad. Well, you
It's
know
a
what I
bit
meant. You know what I meant. Yeah,
I mean, he get the food, but as far as like other services, baby, that's on me.
facts, man. So we talked about the financial part of it. I just got a text. The not clinical, but the diagnosing.
Mhm.
Where did you go when it was time to get him diagnosed? What exactly did you go to a website? Did you call? Did you call in or?
No, so normally you go to your pediatrician and they give you a referral.
Okay.
So they gave me a referral, and I end up finding this Dr. Jamie Fox. She's up north in North Georgia. So I went to her. I went to Dr. Jamie Fox. Yeah.
Okay. So just to answer that text, basically you go to your pediatrician, your child's doctor, child's physician, and they'll give you a referral, right? Mm-hmm. And then from that referral, that's how they'll refer you to someone who can literally like diagnose with autism or not, or any kind of
You also would need a referral for like going to the ENT specialist. And that was another thing too. Like my son had 3 ear infections. Do you mean to tell me I just can't go to the ENT? Like Messiah could have went deaf, but they end up letting me come without the referral. But anything regarding, like, you got to get a referral for anything, a referral for speech therapy or referral for ABA. Like, you have to go through your pediatrician to get that referral.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and that's another thing I want to touch up on, because obviously he's on the spectrum, but also Sasa has, how can I say this? A lot of ailments, a lot of physical ailments that you've had to deal with. You want to elaborate? You want to talk about those aside from the autism? Huh?
I mean, what? Like what?
like it, like his allergies. He's allergic to a lot.
So Messiah does have allergies. And I think that can be hereditary. Like, I don't have them, but dad has them. Messiah's allergic to cats, dogs, dust mites, shellfish, fish. I can't even cook fish in my house.
Right. I remember.
And how I found out about the fish, Messiah was like maybe 6 months, and we eating some. I'm the one who's keeping who sell the grilled fish that I be getting all the time.
Grilled fish. Captain D's.
I keep Captain D's.
Come on now. I know.
But I had the grilled fish, and I gave Messiah a piece, and all I know, my baby, he's 6, and he just started foaming at the mouth, and I said, "What?" So thank God we had an EpiPen. Never used an EpiPen in my life. True story.
Who had an EpiPen?
We did. We had. I don't know why we had one for Messiah, but he had an EpiPen. And we thinking we hitting him in the side with the EpiPen the whole time. It's the tester. But we end up getting a real one, and end up hitting it with it. And that's when we find out I had to go to an allergist, and they tested his skin. So he's allergic to cats, dogs, dust mites, fish, shellfish. Can't even cook fish in the house. Allergies is real to cats. Like, my sister got a cat. We can't even be in her house more than 5 minutes because he'll start itching, eyes getting bloodshot red, everything. So, damn daddy went and got a damn cat. I don't understand, but it's not gonna be that when he get there. But of course, he gonna have his EpiPen on deck, right? And his Benadryl. He has asthma, and that's another thing too that plays a part in kids with autism. They're sensory. They sensors.
Yeah.
So Messiah been like this since he 6 months. Again, we had his oxygen levels was dropping. We had to put him in the hospital. I'm watching them stick needles in my baby head. But when we go to the hospital, literally, it takes a team of 10 nurses to come in and hold him down to give him a breathing treatment. No lie, that autistic children and individuals, like, they're really, really strong. So what I have to do sometimes now, I stay ahead of it when I see that he's getting sick. I give him melatonin, baby, 10 milligrams, put him on to sleep. And I put his nebulizer in front of him.
Right.
And I set it in his face for a whole 2 to 3 hours so it can get into his system to open him up. Because if not, what's gonna happen? We got to go to the ER. They have to give him a steroid, and I don't feel like going through all of that. They're fighting, and then watching him just people holding my baby down. He's screaming and hollering, like that's traumatizing. So I try to stay ahead of that as much as I can. He doesn't like medicine. If I try to put it in his soda, he knows the difference. He'll pour it out. So it's that too can be overwhelming too. Just having a child that's sick, as well.
Yeah, and I wanted you to touch on that aside or in addition to the autism, just to let people know what you dealt with for the past, like you say, almost 10 years, man. This is why I have, or people should have no, I mean, you complain about anything, but I have no excuse to complain about anything because of what I've seen you do or go through in this past 10 years, bro. So I super commend you for that, man, for real. What you got? What's next for you, man? Because when we touched on everything about the autism, what's the next step? Like I said, you got the in-home therapy that you're trying to get up and running.
Well, yeah. So we all know I was starting up that business. I was actually contracting in schools and daycares. They had to pay me.
For sure.
Once you get the degrees, baby, you got to pay me $65 an hour to come out. But I had this person who I trusted. So my goal was to become a BCBA, which is a board certified behavior analyst, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to take a test. You have to have so many supervision hours. So I met this guy in this group that we all in. It's called Black in Behavior, behavior analysis. And I trusted him. He was cool and everything. He had his own business. So I trusted him, gave him $13,000 to help me start up my business. Everything was going good until it wasn't going good. Long story short, I had to take him to court, get my money back. Still fighting to this day. That's been like 3 years. And when you take the money out of my baby mouth, it's a problem. But God gonna handle that.
Sure.
But when the pandemic came around, that stopped a lot of the ABA because we couldn't no longer do face-to-face. Clinics were shut down and everything. A lot of kiddos, I work with a lot of kiddos that was nonverbal. So doing online wouldn't be sufficient or suffice. So I jumped back because I had quit my job and everything. So I jumped back into accounting, and then I had my master's already. So I actually was going for my doctorates. I went to Liberty I was starting my doctors in special education. I didn't want to teach. I wanted to diagnose, but God be showing you signs, and he was just like, this ain't the route that you need to go. Right. So I pulled back from my doctors. Mama was mad. Like, I'm like, Mom, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna go for this second master's in social work, because with social work, I can still advocate for my child, right? And I can still be able to get my license, and that's what I want to do. I want to get my license clinical, my license, so I can be able to diagnose mental health and behavioral health disorders. So, and that leads into my doctors. To be honest, I probably don't have to go get my doctors, because once I get my license clinical, then I'll be able to diagnose. And I believe we can prescribe. I have to double check, but I believe we can prescribe medication. But that's probably where the doctorates will come into play. Right. My short-term goal right now is I'm studying now. I'll be finished with my second master's in November. So I'm studying now to get my license, master social work. So you have to be, you don't have to get this first, but in order to work in like hospitals and like hospitals, they want you to have like your license. So I'm shooting to sit for that before I graduate. Then my doctors, you have to work 2 years post. So that's in the making now. I work for a psych hospital part-time. But long term, I definitely see me opening up starting back what I was doing with ABA, but now since I have the mental health part of it, working in a psych hospital has definitely opened up my eyes to let you know, like, mental health is very real. If you don't take anything that I'm saying today, everybody need a therapist. We all go through things. And in the Black community, most men they don't believe in, therapists. But I definitely suggest that everybody get a therapist because it's very much needed. Working in a psych hospital, my mom and them, so they know the stories I tell them. I work with kids, adults, you name it, every type of disorder. I've seen it. In order for me to be healthy and work for them and be their therapist, I have to be good and be myself. I need self-care. So my overall goal is to be able to diagnose mental and behavior, but I want to open up my own clinic where I have me diagnosing. Then I also have an ABA clinic in there. I have my occupational therapist. I have my speech, all in one stop shop. You come to me to diagnose, and I got all of these layers in here where you ain't got to worry about going outside to go to here and do that. So that is one of my like long-term goals, to open up, start here in Georgia, and let's put these bad boys in North Carolina, Texas, California, you name it.
Man, that's you going
to
what?
Generational wealth. I want my family put on too.
Hey, come on, man.
You feel me?
Come on, man.
Y'all already know I had some talks about doing something else behind the scenes, and we'll talk about that later. But I'm all about family and generational wealth and just helping, in this world that we live in today, life be lifing. So definitely.
For sure. And it's gonna happen for you, sis. You taking all the right avenues and all the right roads, so to speak, to get to that point, man. So I have full faith in you. And look, great things happen to great people. And we didn't have talks before, man. What you've done is nothing short of amazing, man. So I applaud you for that.
I just want to tell people, because it's like when they hear they hear the word autism, it's like they shut down. It's like, why my child? I'm letting y'all know it's nothing wrong with your child having autism. If I can go back and turn back the hands of time, guess what? Give me my child with autism, because God already knew his plan. He knew what he was doing when he gave me my child.
Right.
So,
Yeah, man. It does happen. Like I say, I knew it was a reason why when I was at ACOC and Page, that when I was, Miss Rochelle and the people who used to work with children with behavioral issues, that I never once, and I've never been like this, but I never once picked on them. I never once disrespected them, because they wasn't different. I knew something, they had some mental issues, so to speak, but they wasn't different. They was humans. You know what I'm saying? And you just never know what you're going to encounter or run into, man, in life,
And that's the thing too about being educated, because just because a child has a behavior issue doesn't mean that, he has a disability.
Right.
And that's what I was going back and forth with his teacher. Listen, when I go to that school, they know who I am. They know how I'm coming, because they don't think that these parents take the time out to educate themselves. I don't got to go in there telling them people my credentials. But I know what an IEP is, and I do advocate for that. Like, I teach parents, like, if your child has a disability, they need to be on an IEP, because we are paying for that. So it's very like touching, because I just want Messiah to go through life and be okay. I watch how when I take him out, we go to these he like to go to the jumping park, the trampoline park.
Yeah.
I sit back and I watch how other kids look at him, but it don't faze me. But I do tell them, like, where your mom at, because it's gonna be me and her. Because you need to teach your children that it's other kids out here that's not gonna be like them.
Right. Right.
You know, so yeah, I really have to sometimes give myself grace too. Sometimes I used to be hard on myself too, but now like it stuck with me. Once one of Messiah teachers told me, I never forget this. She said, "Don't let Messiah disability define him." And it's like when she told me that, like it stuck with me. So now, like like Messiah 9, like he be knowing what he doing, like. So
Yeah.
I be having to hone in on that little tail a lot now because he
Sure.
know it's like, and I tell my parents too, like every child is different. Just because Messiah can count to 10 in Spanish, don't mean your child won't be able to do it. And this thing is not an overnight thing. These kids not gonna just change overnight. It takes work and it takes years, but you have to stay on top of it. You have to stay on top of it, you know. And that's me. And y'all know I work my ass off. I work 3 and 4 jobs. Whatever it costs,
It's gonna
I'm
get
gonna
done.
pay it because
Sure.
I want, because mama not gonna always be here, right? So I want him to be able to be self-efficient, self-independent. You
Right.
know, go to school if you want to, have kids, you know, be in a relationship, you know. So and I seen it where, you know, even though Messiah is level 1, level 2, level 1, but severe where they will always need support. They will
Yeah.
always need to be with their mom or dad.
Right.
They can't, you know, you have people who can't talk, who will never be able to talk. So
Right.
I just thank God too, like, you know, that could have been
Yeah.
Messiah. But you know, we gotta praying grandma. So, you know,
For sure.
even though
For
she
sure. We
thinks
got
Messiah is a girl sometimes.
yeah, we got a praying grandmama, man. And but the, you know, that goes a long way. But just like you said earlier, you just imagine if you would have stayed in denial and not gotten him the proper therapy and the proper help that he needed.
Well,
It could have been
I wasn't in denial. His dad was.
right.
You know, yeah. But I was, even if daddy didn't, I was gonna do what needs to be done.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he was in denial. But you know, sometimes in these households, if the daddy is around, the daddy's in denial. So the mama's like, oh well, you know, we'll just, you know what I'm saying? Like if you would have been persuaded to, all right, hold off and let's see how it works out, he wouldn't have got the proper help, right? And then, you know, it could have went to severe
Yep.
had he not, you know what I'm saying? Like, thank God for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, listen, you know me. I'm a God-fearing man. I believe you know, if you do things the right way, man, the right things happen to you. So
Yeah.
you're gonna prosper. Sasa gonna be just fine.
Oh yeah.
When I found out that when we found out that Sasa was autistic, but I knew right then and there, I was like, yeah, well, hey, God don't make no mistakes. He chose the
Yep.
right person for this one because she gonna go to war for this kid.
All day.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I always used to say, I don't even like, I used to say, I don't know if I could have done it. But when I look at now, I have my own kids because I didn't have kids back when you went, you know, when we found out. But now, yeah, man, no question. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it work. So, man, I've just been amazed since you've been going through this journey with Sasa, and I continue to be amazed at what you've been doing with an autistic. Dig this, with an autistic child. You have how many degrees you got?
It'll be 3 November.
Yo, let's take time to first of all, let's take time to praise, thank God. But I want to give you your flowers right now. Dude, you mean to tell me you got 3 degrees with an autistic child? And I don't understand. I don't think people understand what it takes to take care of an autistic child, bro. I have seen you like work, you know, like,
3 jobs.
you know what I'm saying? Like 16 hours, 18 hours a day, take care of your son. And then you got a paper that's due that night. You get it done. Like,
Listen, I pull all-nighters. 8:30 in the morning. I mean, 8:30 at night to 10 o'clock in the morning. Daddy asked me a couple weeks ago. He said, "Put when you gonna sleep?" I told him when I'm
right,
dead. I tell him when I'm dead.
bro.
But you know, I got to give a shout out to Messiah's dad too. You know, we always been in this place, but as Messiah got older and he saw the work that I put in with Messiah, you know, he apologized. He said like Messiah is like progressing. So, you know, summers, Messiah fly him out on this Saturday. He won't be back till August 2nd. I'm gonna be outside.
Right. Come on now.
But you know, I got my internship, so I ain't gonna be outside. But you know, his dad, you know, definitely get him. He gonna put him in football. Messiah fast now. They call him lightning.
You ain't got to tell me. That's blood, homie.
But
that's in the blood.
You know,
what you mean?
Just him, you know, getting Messiah. That gives me and Daddy a break too. You know, at one point I had to get on Daddy because Daddy didn't want him to go with his daddy. I'm like, Daddy, listen, I can't teach Messiah how to be a man, right?
Come on now.
And you know, we in talks now. When Messiah turned 13, that's why I told him his daddy want him now, but I said no, I need 5 more years with him to get him where I need to be, you know, speech wise. But when he turned 13, if he's where he's supposed to be, he's gonna go live with his dad because I can't teach. I didn't did it. I didn't put in the work. So now when you turn 13, you know, I can't. His daddy can show him the things that needs to be done as a teenager.
Right.
So you know,
shout out to Darrell, man.
Yeah. AKA Bernie, Uncle Bernie.
Right. Shout out, man, because it's a process, and you know, regardless of you know what happened between y'all, kids need their fathers, man.
You
kids
know,
need their fathers.
As you get older, you're not bitter. Like me and Darrell, I know this might sound crazy. That's like my brother.
Yeah,
like
man,
you know, we talk about Messiah. That's it. You know, he got girlfriends. Long as they treat my son right, I don't care.
Right. No, it ain't never been no ill feeling towards Rel from nobody. You know, nobody on this side. That's Southside's baby daddy, man. He cool. That's my dude, bro. Regardless of what happened between y'all, shout out to Darrell, man. For
you
real.
know, the first marriage don't count.
Come on. Yo, man. Man, you know what, man? Listen, man. Like, I want to make sure you get your flowers. Like, I want to make sure you get them from me. You already know how we rocking. But everybody on here, man. For sure. You already know. But like
all day. The last name don't change. The last name stays on.
Hey, the name stays home. You hit me? The name stays home. Yeah. For sure, man. But I want everybody to go ahead and I want to get you your flowers on this platform because, like I say, man, I it's nothing short of amazement, bro, when I think about you and your situation and your journey. And Sasa gonna be just fine. And more importantly, bro, you're gonna be blessed forever, eternally, taking care of one of God's angels, bro, with this type of with what he's dealing with autism. These are special God's special kids, man.
That's twin right there, twin.
Yeah, for sure, and man.
He look like me, but he like his daddy too. He a mix twin.
That's twin. Man, he a perfect mix. He a perfect mix, man. Man, we about at the end, man. Hey, I want to ask you one more question before we go.
I got my fan rolling. You know, when you start getting in emotions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nah. I was trying to get you to share the tear, man. I seen it. I felt it coming on.
You already know when it come to that. When it come to my boy.
Yeah, I already know. So. But my last question to you though, what's the dating life looking like, man? I got to know. I got to put you on blast. What's the dating life looking like, man?
Well, listen. These boys, they be telling me you work too much. You know, right now I'm focused on getting to the paper.
Yeah.
I got things I'm trying to do, and if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Man, listen. I done it all. I done been married. I done lived this life. It's on God's timing. It's God's timing. You know, I'm not in no rush, especially living here in Atlanta. You know, they like what I like now, so I gotta be careful.
Hello.
But not like
hey,
people, but don't get it twisted. I get hollered at every day.
I already know.
You know,
That's what, like, look, I understand, brother. You got the
nah, for
money.
real. In all honesty, though, like, oh, cuz said, "What's that ring on your finger?" Let me tell you, this is that purity.
This is what?
This that purity ring.
Purity.
But no, like, in all honesty,
Cleanliness.
though, like, I have time for myself barely.
Yeah.
So, it be, I didn't be in a relationship after I got divorced.
Yeah, for sure.
And, separated, but it's about my child too. Like, you gotta accept him, everything that come with it. And like I said, right now, like, it's just grind time for me. When I be outside, I be outside for a good time. If I see somebody,
yeah,
hey, how you doing? I ain't afraid to go holler. You know what I'm saying? But nah, like, I'm just chilling right now. I'm cool, and I'm trying to become Dr. Braxton. Put some respect on your name. You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna happen. As long as you happy, sis. Whatever makes you happy. If the grind makes you happy, you just know, you got to, you got to,
yeah,
and he
I might got somebody call in the middle of the night.
Ain't got to be dead. You did. Nah, man. As long as you happy though, man. I can't even believe I'm happy.
And then hell, your daddy live here, so even though it's my house, I respect.
Oh, Pops ain't gonna let nothing come. Oh, you already know. Pops ain't gonna let just nothing come.
I got respect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, for sure. I know you do.
Might have to wait till you go to sleep.
Hey, Pops. Hey, man. We ain't gonna even. Yeah, man. What's this? I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time, man. This was. I'm telling you, like, the amount of. Oh, hey, appreciate everybody for the comments. The amount of comments that we got from people viewing, man. I appreciate everybody. You gave a lot of people a lot of information. So I appreciate that, man. You got any last remarks you want to give to people? Where you get off? What can they find you? Facebook, Instagram? What can they find you at?
Well, you can find me on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, right. But I'm Facebook. That's where you can really reach me at if need be. I do got a lot of people, especially when I open up and share Messiah's journey. A lot of people start inboxing me because they was afraid, right? And they was like, oh, my son has autism too. I'm just letting like, don't be ashamed, because that's your child. Definitely, like I said before, I'm a huge advocate of early intervention.
Right.
When you start seeing them signs, go ahead, get them tested, so you can start those interventions and those therapies to help them. It won't be too late. And that's what I did with Sai. So anytime, if you in the Georgia area, like I said, I got some things brewing, especially when I get my license. I'm trying to get licensed in a few states, do some traveling. Definitely I'm still doing the ABA on the side sometimes, but I also, contract with DFACS too. So I do a lot of things with them too, within Atlanta. So, but yeah, my main thing is diagnosing. Like, I want to be able to diagnose mental health and behavioral disorders. So definitely trying to long term, maybe one day open up me a clinic. You know what I'm saying? So
talk it up, talk it into existence, man.
Put my family in it too. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you should already, if you need me for anything, man, just let me know. And if I ain't got it, I'm gonna get it. That's for sure. Especially when it comes to you and Si. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate family too, because even though we far away, the support. Yeah. One thing I'm saying about my family is we huge supporters of one another.
Oh yeah.
So how me and you is, especially when we first found out I was pregnant with Si.
Oh man, I forgot to listen, man.
We had that talk because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, baby. It was gonna be a bark.
Oh Lord, man, but like real quick on that. We cried for 2-3 hours, bro, like straight up. And I was like, look, I don't believe in abortions,
Me
but
neither. Me neither.
you know,
But
and I know you, and it was tough dealing with the situation, but like I was just like, yo, I mean, this,
and not knowing the unknown, right? You know, this is my first child. You
right?
know, worrying about, am I gonna be a good mom? And now it's no longer about me. Now I
Facts.
got this human that I have to worry about. So all those things was just rolling in my mind. Am I gonna be able to afford this child? Because you know, I like to shop, like to take
For
trips.
sure.
But I
Right,
think
bro.
too, God gave me Messiah to sit me down, slow
For
me
sure.
down. And
Life completely changed once you had Sasa.
it did. And you know,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't change it for the world. Like, and then him having that autism on too just put the cherry on top.
for
So it
sure.
really like gave me patience, and it
Mm-hmm.
definitely slowed me down. Because I didn't think I was gonna have a kid or have, you know, but you know,
Yeah.
never say never. I think I did good in life. I had him when I was 28, so I was able to live life, travel, and now that he's getting older, you know, I'm able to get back on my traveling tip and do things. But yeah, we cried for like two hours
Bro.
because, boy, but to be honest, bro, like, thank you, because I
Yo. You know, I'm gonna shoot it to you straight, bro. I was
you
like, listen,
told me, like you said, Puddin', no matter what, I got your back.
I
That's
got
all
you,
I
bro.
that's all I needed to hear. Like, and you know, sisters too,
Yeah.
but you, like, you confirmed it. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Bro,
Because
I got you, bro.
I was in Jamaica 5 weeks pregnant. Nobody knew. And I'm sitting on that beach and we had that talk, and I was like, yeah, I didn't care what his daddy said. I didn't care what nobody said. Like, when you said what you said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bro,
So
hey. And I meant you already know. I like, bro, I got whatever you decide to do. I got you, yo. Real, I
yeah.
got you. So you made obviously the best decision, man. And that little dude there is he life. He
And
life,
that's
bro.
just to touch on one more thing. I know a lot of people always ask, do I want to have another child or children?
Mm-hmm.
And I always say no. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why is because, one, I'll be 38 this year. Messiah
Mm-hmm.
about to be 10. I'm not trying to start over.
Honestly,
And
okay.
they're expensive. But also, two, I don't want to have the chances of me having another autistic child. So, you know, I just don't want to go through Messiah, please. I don't want to go through
Yeah.
one. I had a good pregnancy, but my labor was horrible. So that was traumatic for me. And
Yeah.
then two, I just don't want to have the chances of me, you know, having another autistic child, because there could be, you know, a slight chance. Some people, you know, you can have twins. One may not have it, one may have it, or it
Right.
might skip. But me personally, like, I don't want to have another child. And yeah.
All right. Hey man, hey. Guy got the final say put.
Yeah, he does. But baby, this shop
So
is closed.
hey, 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 all right. Hey man, listen. Nah, but man, you know what? It's been a good show put.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm sorry, Miss Kesey Braxton. I apologize.
Verkisie.
Right, Miss Verkisie Braxton, Shaw-Braxton. It's been a great show, man. You've helped a lot of people. You've inspired a lot of people. But you know, honestly, bro, I love you. I love you, sis. You know that. And keep doing what you're doing. And you're gonna be all right. And I already told you that years ago. You're gonna be fine, bro. Everything that you're desiring to do, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
Let me do one more. Shout out to Lady Shamar, North Carolina ish. Get your
Come on
t-shirt.
now.
Yeah.
What's that? Show that. Pull that. What's that?
North Carolina ish.
Oh, that's her clothing line, Lady Shamar.
Yep. She's Cherie Martin. She a
Okay.
comedian in Greensboro. That's cuz. So
Cherie Martin.
yep.
Shout out Cherie, man. Shout out Cherie Martin for real, man. If you, I'm gonna find out if you're funny too. 'Cause you know,
Oh,
I got
she
hey.
definitely is.
All right. That's what's up, sis, man. I love you, man. I appreciate you for coming on.
Love you too, bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my close out. Stay in here, man. We're gonna chat it up afterwards, okay?
All right. Salute to you.
Come on now. All right, well, there you have it, folks. Man, I appreciate y'all for sticking with me tonight. This is a very special and short noticed episode, man, but a lot of people stuck it out with me. If y'all didn't know, man, the theme about this show was lemons into lemonade, and that personifies Verkisie's her journey. I mean, look, man, life threw her lemons, bro, and she turned that thing into sweet, great lemonade, man. And I couldn't applaud her more than that, man. I wanted to give her flowers on this episode because she's taken what she's been given, the hand she's been dealt in this game of spades we call life, and man, she just made the best lemonade you can make, and she's continuing to do that. So I applaud you, sis. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me through this episode, man. And I love all of y'all. So until next time, man. Peace.
This is the golden rule. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it.